Hello, can you hear me? Hello, Diana? Diana? Hello? Okay, I don't know if you are listening to me. Hello, Carlos Andres. Carlos Andres, can you hear me? Hello? Carlos? Can you hear me? Okay. I was wondering if you could hear me because I don't know. I cannot listen to you.
Okay, now.
You
Okay,
found the
hello,
control?
teacher.
Okay, hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello,
Claudia.
teacher.
Claudia, hello. Claudia Liliana, can you listen to me? Hello, hello. I don't know if they are listening or not, but you are listening, right, Carlos?
Yes, I'm listening to you very well.
Okay. Okay, what can we do? Okay, anyway, we are going to start. We are going to start our class. Yeah, Carlos?
Yes, okay, teacher. No problem.
Okay, I don't know if you have any question about the activities for this week before starting.
No, it's just the activity that we saw 2 classes ago that we had to analyze a test that you gave us syntactically. I have a question, teacher. I don't know if we have to use the program that you gave us last time.
You can use it.
Oh, okay.
It is not mandatory. It is not mandatory, but you can use that program, okay? But remember that you have to analyze first the sentence in order to do it correctly. If you don't do it correctly in the program, everything is going to be wrong. So anyway, you can do it, okay? As well, remember that that section or that exercise has to do with a phonetic transcription as well.
Yes, and we had to read. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to read the phonetic transcription, and I want to be very emphatic on this. That please use the phonetic transcription to read it. Don't read from English because when you read from English, you read. I mean, you don't pay attention to the phoneme as such. Okay. But when you are using the phonetic transcription, you can pay attention to the phoneme, practice, and pay attention to the phoneme. Remember that specifically this class is our last class. Is it our last class?
No. I think that we
have another one.
Yes, we're missing one.
We have another one, yeah. But the last one, what we are going to do is like to evaluate the whole process and to finish and close everything. Diana Marcela, you were not in front of the camera. That's why you didn't answer to me. I was trying to talk to you long time ago. Okay, right. Anyway, okay. So let's start today. What did we analyze last class? We analyzed last class the transcription, or not the transcription, but the consonants, right?
Consonants, yeah.
We worked on the consonants. Do you have any question about the consonant phonemes? Do you practice on the consonants?
Yes, we have to memorize a lot of information because, as you can see, there are not only 5 vowels. Yes, there are a lot of consonants. and vowels, like the sounds between two sounds. Yes, that's how. It's because it's not common in Spanish to use this kind of sounds. Yeah,
Yeah, I know. I know that it is not common. It is not
yeah.
common at all. Okay. So I was wondering because we didn't talk about this. Let me see here. I'm looking for my presentation. Where is my presentation? I am looking for my presentation. This is my presentation, so I'm going to share the presentation. Let's see. Because something that we didn't analyze was this aspect, right? This is the last aspect that okay, you analyzed it at the beginning, and we were watching and examining some aspects of this morphology, but we didn't go deeper on this aspect. So today we are going to devote a little time on analyzing the morphology and starting seeing the differences between uh, the different morphemes that we are going to work on here. So pay attention that the morphology has to do with the morph, and morph has to do, or means form. Morph has to do meaning. The meaning of morph is form. So what we are going to analyze is the form of the words, because the base on here is the word, right? So the form of the word. So here what we call as the minimal unit of analysis is morpheme. Remember that in phonetics the minimal unit of analysis is the phoneme, and in syntax the minimal unit of analysis is the sentence, sorry, the phrase. Okay.
Okay.
In this case, we are going to analyze the morphemes. In the case of the morphemes, we have this definition: meaningful unit of a word in the grammar of a language. So this is the definition of the morpheme: the meaningful unit of a word in the grammar of a language. Right? Meaningful. It is very important to know it. Yep. So in these cases, we have here some examples. Semantically different from other phonemically similar or identical linguistic forms. So here we have speaker, dear, and faster. If you pay attention, we have to pay attention to the grammar, because the function of this ER, that it is phonetically similar to dear or to faster, but the function of each one in each one of the words is different, right? In a speaker, we are talking about a person who speaks. In deer is an animal, but it doesn't have to do with any other kind of morpheme. And in faster, this implies more. That's the meaning of that. So we can know that there are different linguistic forms, although they are similar in writing. They are semantically different. Also, they are linguistically and phonemically the same or similar, right? A sound sequence is not always regarded as a morpheme, and this is very important. It is not always regarded as a morpheme. Not every sound sequence is a morpheme. For example, we have man, and man is the morpheme. Woman, but we cannot say that U is the morpheme. Okay? Woman is the morpheme completely. Unnatural, we can say that an is a morpheme here, and natural is the other one, right? Unfaithful, but in the case of under, it is not possible. We cannot say that under is a morpheme different from the other morpheme. Or sun, we cannot say that sun is different from the other. So in this case, what we have to analyze is that the morpheme doesn't mean a single part of something. It has to do a meaning, okay? Remembering the first definition here, here, that we say meaningful. So this part must have a meaning. In these examples, we know that on is a negative, right? Unnatural and faithful, it makes negative the two words. In the case of under, doesn't happen, and sun doesn't happen. Okay? We can have here, for example, in this word, we can have this, and this is going to be different because this word or this part, this morph, has a meaning, and the other one has a meaning too. Yep. Okay. Right. We are going to see some examples here. We have here these words, and we can separate it, or separate them by the morphs, the different parts, as well as here, and here, and here. Different. Okay. So what is a morph then? A morph is the phonetic realization of a morpheme, the real form of the morpheme, the actual utterance of the morpheme, a formal unit with a physical shape. This is similar to the concept called phone in phonology, but it is the short, meaningful part of the word. Okay, let me see how many students we have now. Right. An allomorph is phonetically distinct variant of the same morpheme, a different realization, manifestation of the same morpheme. So we have a morpheme, and there is a different realization, so it is an allomorph. They vary in shape or pronunciation according to the condition of the use. Okay, we are going to see an example in a moment. They are a class of morphs which are semantically identical. They are derived from phonological and morphemic rules. So we are going to have examples here of allomorph. Let me organize this because I don't know what happened. So English plural morpheme S. This is a morpheme. So it is phonologically conditioned. Why? Because the S can have the form of S in phonetics when it is next to unvoiced consonants. When we have unvoiced consonants or voiceless consonants, the S is going to be an S. But when we have voiced consonants, as this one, the S is going to sound as a Z. So you don't say dogs, but dogs. Rings, rings. Right? And with the morph ending in Z, this is like, let me organize this. I'm going to change it right now because this word is this one, and this one. Okay. And this one. This one. When the word sounds or finishes in this kind of sounds, even the S. So there is going to be another syllable that is such as bus in singular with the plural. With the plural is buses, boxes, horses, classes, right? With the short I. So this is the case of an allomorph. An allomorph that can vary because it is the same morph, but it has different realizations in phonetics. Do you understand? Do you understand this example?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, we are going to have these allomorphs. Let me see the chat. Hello, Paula. We can have this allomorph also. I'm going to hit another one here with the use of so the in regular verbs always is going to be an ed. Yep, in regular verbs. So we have this ed. Use this here. We're going to increase. So we have ed as the main. Let's use this one here. Yep. So for example, give me or write words with ed. I mean verbs, regular verbs, past tense.
Walked.
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Okay, give me another kind of. Let me see this one.
Slammed.
Sorry?
Slammed.
What else?
Wash. Watch.
Yeah. What else?
Watch.
Another
Watch
one?
television. Watch television.
Yeah. I don't know if I have already. Ah, yes. But I missed. I wrote incorrectly. I was not seeing. Okay, any other?
Lived.
Studied. Studied.
Sorry?
Study. Study.
Okay. Okay, so we can do open. That sounds good. We can do the same thing here. Pay attention to this. What we can call morph is this part, the ed. The ed is going to be the morph here. Morph and morph and morph. But the ed has different realizations depending on the word. So here. And we can organize this according to the different realizations. So for example, how does it sound? How does ed sound? Sorry, I couldn't. In this word, in walk, phonetically speaking, what is the realization of that more? How does it sound? As the K is the last phoneme and it is voiceless, it is going to sound like a T. Okay? The whole morpheme.
It would sound like what?
Yes, it sounds like walked because the morpheme is a T because of the K. In the case of work, we have also a T because it's another K. In the case of talk, we have a T. So can you see that the pronunciation of this ED is T in all of these words, right? Now, what happened in plant? What happened when you have plant? We have, oh, where it is? Where is it? Right here. This is the realization of the morph, right?
Planted, yeah.
Planted.
Planted.
Planted. So you can see that it's the same in linguistically, in writing, it is the same, ed, but the realization is different. So this realization is what we call allomorph. What happened in washed? The same T because sh is voiceless, is T as well. And what happened in lived? What is the correct one?
Lived. Lived. D.
Which? With
D. With
very good.
D.
So the realization of this one is D. Yeah? What happened in open?
Open. D. D as well.
And studied?
Studied. ID. ID.
Why ID?
Studied. Studied.
Studied.
T.
Studied.
Why no ID? Because pay attention to this. How do you pronounce this in present?
Yes, study.
Study.
Yes, so the E is there, right?
Yeah.
So the only sound, sorry, the only phoneme that you add is the D. Is because of that. But here it is. The point is that the same morpheme, or the same morph, that is CD, in all the words have different realizations. T, D, I, D, or it. This is what we call as allomorph. The same happened in the example in here. The same S for the plural. 3 different realizations in here. Okay? So it can happen. It can happen, and this is what we call allomorph. Okay. Questions so far?
No.
No, teacher.
Sure? Okay.
No, teacher.
Okay. But it's not just only for the verbs, right? For different words.
Yeah, it could be for different words. Even when you are using this ID for to form adjectives as well. Yep. So it depends. It depends. Okay. Okay. So we have two types of morphemes, and I am sure that you studied about that. So we have the free morphemes and the bound morphemes, and you did an exercise about this, right? So what is a free morpheme then?
It can stand by alone, by itself.
Yeah, it can be independent. It doesn't need any other morpheme to have a complete meaning, right? So in this case, we have boy, man, stylish, measure, etc. We have many morphemes, and they don't need another one to have a complete meaning. But what happened with the bound morphemes? They cannot be realized. I mean, they cannot exist without being or without any other or another morpheme next to it.
Yeah, they have to be linked. Yeah, they have to be linked to other morphemes. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can say that the bound morpheme is dependable.
Yeah.
Okay, it depends on another kind of morpheme. It cannot happen, cannot be by itself. For example, the S is a vowel morpheme, and you know that. It reminds me something about the workshop that you did. Let me see here. I have already graded, so it is good that you have a complete grade of that. Morphemes. I noticed that some of you, let me see here. Juanita is not here now. Okay. Maria Stephanie is here? No.
Teacher, I think Juanita is coming soon. She was trying to connect.
Who?
She was trying to connect and she was Juanita.
Okay.
So I think that she's gonna be online in the next week.
Because I have problems with. Okay, Maria Stephanie, pay attention to this. It is very important to go and start doing the activity again because you didn't complete the activity. So your result is this one. Yes, Maria Stephanie, I'm talking to you. Do you, okay? Okay, right? It is very important, but you need to do that these days. I'm going to open the activity just for you to do that, okay? Paula Andrea Montenegro is here.
Yes, teacher.
I think that, let me see. Yes, I am sure that you didn't complete the last part. You didn't do the last part. This one.
Yes, teacher. Ah, okay. Okay, teacher.
You didn't answer this. So for that reason, your result is so low. Okay?
Ah, okay, teacher.
57
okay,
is 57 is like 2.8 or something. Okay?
Okay, teacher.
So
Okay.
Henry is here today. Henry is not here? Okay.
No, he's not.
So he has to do that again because look at this. And Jairo is not here. And John is not here either. So they have to repeat. You make some mistakes. I don't know if you didn't understand the activity, but if you didn't, you should have asked me. Okay? Because I could help you to understand it. You have to answer everything at once. You cannot open it and close it and then open it, because it is going to happen what you can see here. Many incomplete. Okay, Maria Stephanie, I'm going to erase all of this because you need to enter again.
Teacher, so what's
Sorry, Anna.
gonna happen?
Sorry?
When it says, obviously we didn't know, when it says not completed, it means that the grade goes down?
No.
Or what happens?
No.
What does it happen?
No, because you can see here, for example, in this one, in Ingrid, she has the 100% and it is not completed. She entered once and then she entered again and she completed.
Okay.
Yeah, but nothing happens. Yeah, so I erase all the activities, but I have to enter to the activity. Now, let me do it right now. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. Sorry for the delay. But I remember this and it was important. Especially because we only have 1 week to finish everything. Morphemes. Availability. Okay, it is going to be open, okay? It is open now. So you can Start working on that as soon as we finish here. So remember here, 3 morphemes, 1 morphemes, one depends on the other one doesn't depend on anyone. Okay? Okay, Carlos, I'm going to close your microphone because I have a little return. Don't worry, I close it. Okay. So then we have here the affixation. The affixation has to do with the vowel morphemes that are going to go together with another morpheme, and the other morpheme is going to be called a root or stem of the word. In this affixation, we have two types of affixation, two types of affixes. The first one is the prefix, so you know that it goes in the front before the root. So this is the prefix and the suffix. It happens also in Spanish, so it's easy for us to identify them, right? So we have different affixation, and the function of the affixation is to change maybe the meaning. Could be one of the functions, could be change the meaning, or the other one is change the category, the grammar, this the part of a speech, right? So we have these two functions of the prefixes. The first prefix here, or the affixes, sorry. The prefix here is unpredictable, so it is a change in the meaning. Predictable and unpredictable means that it is not predictable. Yeah. So you know that kind of meaning affixation here, but the point is the type, prefix and suffix. And we have also infix. The infixation or the infixing here is this kind of affix that it is in the middle, right? But it is not common in English. It can happen in other kind of words, in other kind of languages. In English, is not that common. Okay, in Spanish can happen. Okay, we don't care about the circumflex and the simulflex. I just care about here root, stem, or base. We understand that root, stem, or base is the word or the morpheme that it is going to be totally free. It's going to be the free one, right? In the case of this one, worker, the stem is work. So we can have here one morpheme. This is an affix, worker. It is an affix. And then we have workers. That DS is another affix. Yep. So we can see here that the stem is work, but it has two affixes here. In the case of jump, it's the same. DS can be an affix. ING, another one. ED is another one. So anyway, jump is the root in all of them, right? It's like the core of the word. It's like the base of the word. Okay. In here, we have the base as a unit of a word where any kind of affix can be added. Yep. In this case, we have boy as the affix, as the root or the base in here. Boy can be boys in plural, so there is an affixation. Boyish. There is changing in the meaning of boyhood. there is another changing in the meaning of boy. Okay, so all roots are bases. Bases are called stem in context or inflectional morphology. So we have to call it in inflectional morphology. So then we have the other variation. So if we pay attention to the root, we pay attention to the affixes. I already mentioned that there are two different kind of variations in here or relationships. The first one is inflectional morpheme, and when we are doing this inflectional morpheme, we keep the meaning of the word. The only thing that we are doing with inflection is changing not the meaning, but changing like the form. In the case, for example, of number, that is the first inflection. There is very late. Tense or person. So those are the kind of inflections that we have. Number, cat, cats, child, children. This one is the inflectional morpheme of this word. Okay, this is an inflection. The meaning is still there, but there is an inflection. Okay, don't use the camera then if you cannot listen. Don't worry about that. Anyway, I am not paying attention to that because you are too many and I cannot see everybody. Okay? Okay, don't worry. So here, the other inflection is tense. So we have walk, walks, or walk, walked. You see? So morphologically speaking, what happens to a verb when changes the tense is an inflection. So the past tense is an inflection of the other. Pay attention that here the verb is regular. But what happens if the verb is irregular? For example, feel, and the past is felt. Of course, we can have the inflection with feels or feeling. But in here, pay attention that this inflection is irregular. But anyway, it is an inflection. Okay? This is the inflection of felt. All the past tenses in irregular tense, in regular form, are the inflection of this, of the regular form. Okay? Okay. Juanita is here. Juanita, please.
Sorry, teacher. I've been late because I've had problems with the internet. I'm a little bit sick of the voice.
Okay, don't worry. But anyway, Juanita, I'm going to mute you because there are some children on the back. Juanita, please. I was telling the class that you and other classmates have some problems doing this activity or themes, activity 2.2. So please enter again and do it completely. Okay? Do it this weekend.
Okay, teacher. Thank you very much.
Okay, right. And let's continue with this one. The last inflection is person, that it has to do with first, second, and third person. But in this case, in the case of English, is about the third person, right? The third person. So it is like in here, walks. Yep. So we have here the inflectional, the inflectional morphemes and the changes that happens in the inflectional morpheme. There are other cases of inflectional. when we have subject, object, possessive. So this possessive, the apostrophe and the S is an inflection as well. Okay, it doesn't change the category of the word, it doesn't change the meaning, it only adds information. That's what inflection does, like change information or add an information, right? So it is why the case of the possessive, the Anglo-Saxon possessive S is an example of inflectional morpheme, right? Mothers, mothers. Here we have two inflections. The S for the plural and this one for the possessive. Right. Let's continue with inflections. Inflectional morphemes are very productive in nature. So it means that we can use it very, very much. And inflectional morphemes are limited in number. So inflectional morphemes usually block further affixation to a suffix. So we cannot use in inflection more than two inflections sometimes. So if we have the ed for the verb, we cannot add the s, that is another inflection. So it cannot happen. So it is not possible to say agreed. Okay? It is not possible. So it is what it says. It is limited in number. Limited in number. Okay, so then I know that you have examined this as well, but we have the derivation of, and the derivation, what the derivation does is to change the category, or yes, the part of the speech of each one of the words, right? So we have verbs that are going to transform to nouns, adjectives that are going to transform to nouns, or nouns that transform to other kind of noun. So we have speak, speaker, that it is a verb, speak to a noun, swim, swimming, a verb to a noun, read, reader or reading, a verb to a noun. Adjective to noun, kind, kindness. So ness is an affix that is going to change the root into a noun, goodness, blackness. And we have others. And then we have noun to noun, motherhood, nonsense. Yeah. Or even the ship, right? Friend, friendship. Friend, friendship. Those are affixes that change noun to noun. Okay. Okay. I know that you have studied these ones in the how can I call it? I forgot. In the lesson, you studied some derivations. You studied the derivation from noun to adjective as well, or you studied the derivation uh, from noun to verb, adjective to verb. So the only thing that we have to do here, I'm going to upload this presentation, is to analyze the cases, because there are different cases like read, suffixes like is, five. So I don't think that we need to explain too much about this kind of formations, okay? Because it is like normal in English, and we know how to form based also on English, on Spanish, the Spanish that we use. So what do I want to focus with this? What I want you to do is to pay attention to the unit number 3, in which you have this exercise. You did it in the previous exercise of morphemes, but in here, what I want you to pay attention is to see which words have inflection or derivation, right? For example, if we pay attention to this one, the first inflection happens in here. Yeah? Why is there an inflection? Why
That's
is
the
there?
of C.
Yes, very good. Because it is the past tense. So it is a change in tense. So C is the root, and so is the derivation, right? Remember, in this one, terribly, what happens? Derivation or inflection?
Derivation.
Why?
Because this is from an adjective, it becomes an adverb.
Very good. There is a derivation. Yep.
Yeah, derivation.
So this is an example of derivation. And what happened with this?
Inflection.
Are you sure?
Derivation.
Why derivation?
Because it has the ed.
Not just because of that. There is something that you have to pay attention, and it is the context, right? Right? It could be past, but it is not a past. What function is this word in this text? What kind of word? Is it a verb?
No.
What is it?
It's an adjective.
It is an adjective. Very good.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
the derivation is from verb to adjective.
Yeah. Okay.
It could be from verb. Okay, it could be an inflection because it could be a verb and a very past, but in this case it is not because of the context. So it is not an inflection but a derivation. So this is what I want you to do in this part, with this part of the morphology, to pay attention to the different phenomena that happens in here and start like dividing. You can do the inflection and derivation, inflection in one side and derivation in the other, and explain the derivation. If it is an inflection, for example, in tense, in person, or in number, if it is a plural or not, and a derivation if it is a change from noun to adjective, or from adjective to noun, or from verb to noun. What happens in the derivation, right?
Excuse me, teacher. What point will be that? Will be that one? The first one or the second one?
I think that it is very good question.
Yeah.
Because it is only syntactically and phonetically.
Yeah.
Good question. Do that as the third one. I'm going to change that in a moment. Okay, but try to do it. It is not that long. Anyway, this is going to be in groups, right? Are you doing this in groups or individually?
No, in groups.
In groups.
Yeah. So as it is in groups, it is going to be fast. And you know, you don't have to analyze all the words, because not all the words are or have a derivation or inflection. Some of them are not. Okay, but just few of them.
Okay.
I was wondering about the last activity that is proposing here. So if we pay attention here, we have this final project. Did you start with the final project?
Yes.
Yes. So it is going. Okay. Are you going to do it
I'm gonna do the project with Alexander.
Okay. Okay, so you're going to do it in pairs because this project is for next week, remember. Okay, by Saturday, I think, or is this week? No, yes, next week, on Saturday.
All the lesson 3 is for the 29th, isn't it?
Yes, all the lesson 3. The workshop. I cannot listen. Diana, I cannot listen very well. I cannot listen very well. No, Diana.
Asking you about, hear me now? Okay, now I think my connection is unstable. That's why.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, better.
Okay. Teacher, that we have to do syntax 3 in the analysis as well, like we did like 2 classes ago.
Yeah. Carlos was asking about that. Yes, you can use the same program that we used 2 classes ago.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
You don't need to draw it by hand. You can use the program. Also, you can use the program for the phonetic transcription, but the point is that you can identify the phonemes. And as I was telling you at the beginning, it is very important you to read the phonetic transcription, don't read the English. Don't read English in English. I mean, don't read this. Don't read this. Read the phonetic transcription. It is part of an exercise that you're going to do because I want you to pay attention to the pronunciation of the different phonemes. So it is better, okay? Remember that there is a recording of your voices, so you have to record your voices reading this small passage. This is small fable. Yep. Okay.
Teacher, sorry. So I have to pronounce word by word, or just the
No, you
sentence?
have to read. No, you have to read the text.
The text, but okay.
Yeah, but using the phonetic transcription, right?
Yes, we had to be very careful using the phonetic transcriptions. Yeah, and that's the reason that sometimes we pronounce very bad. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, it is not that very bad, but the let's say American here, so the transcription. So it is more or less like this one, right? So the idea is that you read these, not the
Okay, give
other.
us an example, a little example, for example.
When first the fox saw the lion, this is lion, he was terribly frightened and ran away and hid himself in the wood. Next time, however, he came near the king of beasts. He stopped. He stopped at a safe distance and watched him pass by.
Okay, and now I understand the activity well.
Right? So
yeah.
you can practice as well. You have the time for practicing. Yeah, for analyzing the sounds and what is this and how does it sound, etc., etc. But related, be very familiar with these kind of reading. Okay.
Okay. Now, okay, teacher. Excellent.
The thing is that you try.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, guys. I don't know if you have any question. Any question?
No, teacher, everything is clear.
Okay.
Very clear. It just takes time to do the whole activity. Very clear.
I know it is going to take time. I know. Remember that next week is our last session, and in this last session we are going to do the self-evaluation. Okay. So it's only for you to take it into account, because this is one of the evaluation, yeah, grades that we are going to take into account in the evaluation. Okay. I want to apologize. Okay.